So in this video, we're just going to calculate Frame Carpenter labour purchase order. So this particular house, I'm just doing 12 Gotha Street, which is a prefabricated frame. So a prefabricated frame is one that comes out in sections. It's much faster to actually build the house frame on site, so therefore the labour costs are lower, but it is slightly more to purchase in the frame timber cost centre. The alternative is stick framing. So that's where all the panels are individually cut on site and installed. This is a much better product for when we've got complex building sites, particularly when there's very different levels. This allows the carpenters to put the frames together. It does take slightly longer, but it is cheaper from a material point of view, but higher from a labour cost. But sometimes when you have to make modifications to something that's already prefabricated, it can be quite tricky and take a lot of time. So when we've got complex sites, sometimes we will go stick frame. As a general rule for the Lancon standard homes, we just go prefabricated or prefab frames. So you'll see that we'll have quotes here for prefab lower. This house is 2-storey, so it has a floor system, a prefab upper, and then roof trusses. So if we go to the Frame Carpenter purchase order, here we'll just double check this bill of quantities. So this one was done up by the sales estimator for a project. Now that we've actually come to construction, we just need to double check these quantities. So on this particular house, we have quite a few different levels. So the first section of prefab we'll calculate at 2400, and the next section we will calculate at a higher rate. Upstairs is all the same through the middle, except for this top parapet here. So for the first item is the lower story frame up to 2700 high. Now this is taken from this area at the front here. Now to set up your scale on Bluebeam, you just hit Store Scale in Page Calibrate and just click on 2 points, and it's 2.59. Now this back section here, you can see from this point to this point is as per plan. So it's always good to just double check that the plan is correct. So we'll have to do the lower section at a higher rate, which the sales estimator has just put that in through as 3. That is actually the highest standard rate for this one, so I agree with that. So what we'll do is we'll just go to the ground floor plan, and we'll just double check this area. So I've already got a scale saved on this page because I've done previous estimates. So when you're doing this measurement, you want to take all areas under roof. So if you see this outdoor area is all covered, so that needs to be included in your calculation, and the reason for that is that it covers the any of the trusses in this particular outdoor area. You can see here that it's under a roof line. So we don't pay separately to install frames and then additional to pay roof trusses. This covers frames and roof trusses. So I'll just work out the area here and we'll just double check that. So outer corner, outer corner, outer corner of the post, outer corner of the frame, and the bottom of the stairs there. So that is 72. So I'll just change that to 72. So that was outer corner, outer corner, outer corner of steel post, outer corner of frame, and that was the lower area that you can see there on the plans that needs to be done at the higher rate. Then we move to the front of the building. So you can see here that the front of the building is at a lower ceiling height. So we'll go back to the plans and so we've got the scale already marked. We go to the area calculation, corner, 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 join up there, corner there, and again, this is under the roof, so we'll go to corner there and press enter, and that will give you the external corners there. So that is 81. Okay, so we've checked that item. Now we need to go to the upper story frame to 3 meters. So we look on the floor plan here, it's actually the ceiling height is 2.59, so we can actually use the up to 2.7, so it's prefab up to 2.7. We can use that item there. And so we can delete that one out. Okay, so we'll go to the upper floor plan this time. I don't have a scale set up on this page, so I will just set that one up now. Go to calibrate. So we've got the upper floor plan here. I need to set up this scale. I'll go to calibrate, and this one's nice and easy to take that one. So 2.1 is 2.1 there. So then we'll go and we'll just double check the area. So outer corner, outer corner, outer corner, outer corner. So that's 140. So I'll change that to 140, and I'll change that to be -1, which is the supplier pricing, as we've got a supplier here and we're actually issuing the purchase order out to this supplier. The next item is the subfloor. Now there is a subfloor for all of this level, and we also just need to double check. Now this has a drop edge, but you often need to check that part of the house isn't on a floor system as well. If this house was raised up off the ground and not all slab on ground, then you would need to add in an additional subfloor for that area. So the subfloor here is actually the same as the upper, which is 140. So now we just need to review the posts. You can find out what size the posts are from the Keynote legend here. So we've got 75 by 75 steel posts and 90 by 90 square posts. Okay, so we actually have a count function within. We actually have a count function, so you've got your legend up the top there, and we actually have a count function. So what I might do is I might just select all of these and move them off to the side just so that we can see a bit clearer. So we can actually work with the count function on the measure, and you can go count, and we can label it over here post quantity so that we can find it nice and easily. So now that we've got that, we can just go around the house. I like to start in the top left. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, That's all I can see on the lower floor, and now we'll go to the upper floor. So I can only see 4 on there. Sometimes we might have additional information here that we can't see additional steel posts. Okay, well, I'm happy that that is 4. So I'll do 4 there. And I'll just delete this note. Okay, the next item is a 140 by 140. So this is obviously an item that has been removed. We don't have any 140 by 140 posts on this house anymore. So this is just all an aluminium screen to the front facade. Often those posts will be used as feature posts to the entry. Right, so there's our 5th post there. Okay, so we'll go back and change that to 5 as that was the other steel post. And we'll delete that line out. Then we have steel columns. So for this job, I believe we do have the engineering back now. So I'll just go X drive, construction, current jobs. This job is number 12 Gotha Street, and all of our construction documents should be in specifications and colour selections, so we haven't got anything saved in there at the moment. So I'll go to the plan bank and check in the engineering folder. So we do have engineering in this folder here. So we've got some steel beams and steel columns on the ground floor plan. I'd imagine for this house that we would just have a steel beam across the garage there at 4.8, which is the garage opening size. We'll have a look on the next page, and there's no steel there. That's all been, that note has been removed. So if we go back up to here, it's all just ply bracing, and the steel columns are not marked on this plan, but we have them on the architectural plans. Okay, so we'll just add one there at 4.8. Now we do have an additional amount that we need to add in. For this particular house, we do actually have cladding above the standard square meterage. So for any areas like parapets, anything that actually extends above the standard, so if you look at the elevations here, you can see framing here actually extends above what we've agreed to pay. So we need to include that area, anything over what we have originally allowed. So we've got a scale set up for this page. So I'll just calculate those areas here. All right, so we'll add that in as an extra into our bill of quantities. So just go into the catalogue. And I will copy the current item to 04.045, 010600. No, okay, I'll need to double check which one's available. Oh, that's the gatehouse. Okay, so I will copy the current item 04.045, 010550. So this is additional area. Okay, so this one here is $11 a square meter. That's all correct. The template is click out and back in, and here we'll go in and we'll just set up our vendor pricing. So if we add supplier, now your supplier code is in the top right there. It's not case sensitive, and we'll pop that in at 11. I'm also going to pop in our other carpenter. Their code I just know from the top of my head, so we'll pop that one in there. So both of those carpentry gangs pricing is saved, and I'll update that one to 11 and that one just to 15 at the moment so that we've got a price in there. Okay, so I'll close that. I'll be able to refresh this. Now that additional area item is there, and we'll just add that one up. So based on the plans, I've got 5.06 plus 0.74 plus nothing additional at the back there, 10.11 at the top, 5.45 there, and 1.18. So that is 28.38 square meters additional area. And we'll change that to -1 because that now has supplier pricing. So that is all the items in here. Generally, unless the plans clearly indicate where bulkheads are going, we can't really put that item in at this stage. So there will be a bulkhead through the front here. So we can put that one in. Great. Now, if ever you put in supplier pricing and no price comes up, it just means that that particular vendor hasn't been set up yet. So you can just go into the catalog and add their vendor code in and the price, and then that one will appear for you. Now I'm just going to select all those items, go green arrow, and that will just update any of the text. And then we'll just select that one there and issue the purchase order. Once that particular item has been done, you can just go into the monday.com. Go into the job. So it was 12 Gotha Street that we were in. We just did the Frame Carpenter purchase order, click done. Date the purchase order sent was today. So that's all we needed to do in that section. That will notify the supervisor who's already subscribed to this board. Then what we just need to do is to go into your email account and send a copy of the documents to the carpenter. So that's the carpenter there. We just put in the name from the naming convention. So I keep a copy of that one open on my computer. Right, so in the naming convention, you can see that we've got a job specific email here. So I'm just going to go select that line here and go construction documents so that Rob knows what job it is relating to. Then I just go into the server. Now we did just have the engineering open for that job, so I'll pop that there while we have it open. Then I'll go into the actual current job, into specifications. So that should be the final set of plans there. We'll just have a look. That is revision E. So I'll just select revision E. And then that's all that we can actually send out with this particular job. We haven't got anything else that's actually saved in the construction set. So I'll just go, hi, Rob, please find a... Great. So now the carpenter has a copy of all the construction documents. Now, if you didn't have a copy of a supplier's email address, this is just a copy of the purchase order that you can see comes up so that you can just double check that it's as you thought it should be. So we'll just close that. So you can load supplier. We keep the databuild suppliers up to date. So you can just type the name in there. Now, the construction manager will tell you on monday.com who they want, but you can find a copy of their email address and their name and contact phone number here if you need to talk to them or ask them a question in relation to a job. So that is the framing carpentry purchase order issued and correct to site.